have two companies, that reach out to me that, wanted to give me expense
can I be
$25
louder? Or
million
is that
guaranteed.
Oh yeah, you can talk. Listen to
$25
this
million
part.
guaranteed up front. So
I'm
a
struggling to
real
hear it?
guy like myself,
Can you hear him?
I
Not
call
really.
your
I can hear
phone.
you good. I can't hear.
Hey, bro,
No,
look,
man.
listen. You know what I mean?
Hey,
We
hey,
got
hey,
this
hey.
company that's willing to give us
Boom.
a piece.
All I wanted to do is let everybody get an opportunity to see what's truly going on behind the scenes in the sport of boxing. And it is just unfortunate that so much that, you know, back in your day, and before I get started, I would like to introduce my show first, the Fight Show, sponsored by Master Boxing and Jab Juice, Branding Wizards. First thing that you must know about us is we do what we need to do for the combat gym world. We are the voice for them with the Fight Show, with Master Boxing Systems, and with Jab Juice Branding Wizards, because we teach them what they don't know, and people won't give them the ability to know. And with that being said, the sponsors are all coming from the lineage here. And we want to do everybody out there in the combat world. We want to do right by them by showing them the map so they can make the right choices and the decisions when they are doing things to try to provide for their families. And with that being said, today I'm glad to introduce one of my good friends now, Neville Brown, former middleweight champion. What is going on, people? You guys are going to love this man, mate. Talk to me, brother. How is it going?
Eric, man. I liking that. I'm liking that, man. I'm liking that. But you know what? Like you say, good paths, good people come together, man. And I linked up with you a couple of months back now, and I watched what you were doing, and you were educating the fighters, and I loved it. And you were teaching it in a way that people understood. I like to think of it as a fight, but the word to me is wrong. Fight means out of control, fight or flight. And an athlete should be learning how to train in the gym, learn to control that passion, that energy, and understand that he's in there and he's producing an art. And the art is, as Mayweather says, hit, not be hit.
Yes.
And then you need a nice style that entertains the public.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the same roots I've heard. He takes a good punch. You took a good punch now. We are not designed to be hit.
That's right. You're right.
And I saw you teaching that footwork. Don't get into an argument till you know what you're doing. Don't throw till you know what you know.
Hey, man, you know what it is. And we just had a nice discussion. And, back when you were fighting, we'll call that the golden age, because that was the last of it. It trickled in the 2000s a little bit. And I was able to work with some of the best fighters in the world, heavyweights. I got an opportunity to work in championship training camps that I was in awe with the people that were walking in that gym. When I'm talking about Hasim Rockman guys, when you see certain type athletes and you look at them, you're like, you're the champ of something. I mean, you walk through this dude. I mean, and on television it looks one way, but in real life it looks a different way. And then when even Ray Mercer, like, these guys were just gigantic. Ray was walked in the gym, he was 261 pounds, and Rock was about closer to 280. So they weren't in their fight weight at that time. They were just big human beings. And as we know, they both fought the best fighters in the world. Lennox Lewis, both of them fought Lennox Lewis. One split with Lennox, one had Fight of the Year with Lennox. Ray did. When you see that kind of athlete, I got to talk to you about what is the difference now. Why, fights always been held up a little bit. But what is going on right now? Because I just got to pivot off my conversation about me. People hear about my story. But what is happening with the fight game that deals can just not get done? I want to hear it from you because you walked this walk. You did this thing. Special shouts out to one of our coaches, Coach Paul Haraba, out there in Australia. He's one of your mates. Special guy coming up in the coaching rankings, but I had to give him a shout and see people popping in. But tell me, from your perspective, what are you guys saying on that side of the planet about
Well,
the fight game?
I've seen the boxing. Sorry, I love this sport. The politics, I don't know. That it's not good.
Yeah,
And I mean, I was with Mickey Duff and Frank Warren.
man.
And if you were a fighter that was dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
the word now, my friend. If your fighter was dangerous, but you brought no money to the table,
Yeah.
they were gonna walk straight past you. And what I didn't know when I turned pro, I thought, well, I turned my back on amateur because I thought, wow, the amateur's bad. I thought, you look at Roy Jones. How
Mm-hmm.
do you win a fight, win the Olympic gold medal? Not a small hall, This was
Yeah.
the biggest stage in boxing.
Yeah.
And everybody, even Stevie Wonder could see that who won that fight. The Korean, how does he win? How does he feel good?
Yeah.
He's been given a gold medal. Did he know he's been outboxed? And the politics and the people behind it, I say to myself, wow.
Yeah.
And I was telling people, because I was learning the hard way. I'd boxed the world number 1 at light middleweight, Richter, a German fighter. And to drop a guy, I dropped him twice, and I got 2 standing counts. Yeah, you heard right. You heard right. I dropped him twice, and I got 2 standing counts, and I came back with a bronze medal, and that would have been a gold medal. And we hadn't won any serious medals against Europe when it was the Eastern Bloc country. That was 87. I was 21 then. So was pushing to go to the Olympics. So even before I even knew, I thought amateur was about the love of the sport.
Yeah.
There was money issues going on there. So jumping forward now, because I could be all day on talking to you, my friend.
I know. It's real though. It's real. This is where we are.
But when I was saying to people, I was like going, let me get this right. You work this out as the amateur. We were 17, 18 representing our country. Big thing. Then we go over to the Eastern Bloc and the Europeans or whatever's. Cuba can't turn pro, but they're not in the Eastern Bloc. The Russians can't turn pro at this time. Yeah? East Germans, West Germans could, but the East Germans, no. So we were taking on full-grown men at 25, 26, 32, and their schooling of boxing in Russia is awesome. The food's good. They eat well. They're in training camps. These men are training 24/7. How is a 17, 18-year-old young teenager supposed to go up against these guys? So something was wrong then.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. It's always been the cloud of control, dominance, and fear of losing their position. And this is one of the things that I know firsthand, because when I can't figure something out, I go to the top.
Yep.
So if you will note, everybody that I have on the show, typically I don't bring the fighters up here. Typically, periodically, want to land here, like, including yourself. I got you because you are more of my friend, and I've always felt connected to you. But the thing is, the reason why is because I got to get the data. I need to know stuff, and I got the questions, and I came up into the game knowing that if you are far away from the people who are running the business, you're never going to understand the business. The minute you get close, just like on this show called The Wire that they ran over here in the US. And a lot of people from the UK were actually the stars on it, and they changed their accents. But you know, you had Stringer Bell, who is Idris Elder, and a lot of other cats that just were there, and they've all blown up since that show. But they say when you follow the drugs, because it was it was Baltimore. That's where we used to go up there and train with some Rockman, those guys. They said when you follow the you follow the drugs, you find drug dealers. When you follow the money, you don't know what's at the end of it. Because it's going to be somebody in government. It's going to be some politician. It's going to be something way bigger than what you could have ever imagined when you start following the money. And that's
the magic word. You just said it.
Yes.
Amateur was supposedly for the love of the sport.
Yeah.
And that's all I heard. I'm a big man now, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And I was just bringing them trophies.
Yeah.
What's this plastic trophy going to do me? You follow? I'm asking for some money. And certain man in the teams was getting paid and certain mans wasn't. So it was like, this isn't good. This isn't good. So then you're doing this off your back for the love of the sport. So then you turn pro and then you think the money's coming that way. Then you realize that myself, I can only talk from my own experience.
Yes.
I turned with Mickey Duff. I got a phone call from Mickey Duff and he wined and dined me. Told me,
good person.
Turn over with me, man. And he told me stuff and I believed everything him see. And he says to me,
get these books.
You're going to sign up with us. We're going to send you over to train with Lloyd Honnigan in Florida and get some sparring experience. Why?
Yeah.
I couldn't sign that contract quick enough. 18 months later, I'm still in a little town called Burton-on-Trent, small town.
Yeah.
And I can't get people to travel 120 miles to London to support me.
Yeah.
To watch me, I suppose I was a bit of a puncher to knock out people. So I couldn't get people off there to give up a day in work.
Yes.
To travel on a coach, to pay £25 for a ticket, to pay for the coach fees, to take half a day off work to get to London, to Wembley Arena, or wherever it was, to watch me supposedly do what I'm supposed to do and take people out in 2 minutes or 30 seconds. So most people said, Neville, when you get for the championship fight, so remember this, right? What I'm saying, when you get to the championship fight, we'll be there for you, I promise. And I said, hang on a minute. If I had put bums on seats, I wouldn't be seeing no title fight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely not. And Neville, you tell a story of many that didn't understand the game. When I told you, that's why I formed What You Can't Learn. So right here, Neville, is the entire world of boxing, from the fitness to the nutrition to the training to the look. Look what that says: business overview, business structure. These are the levels that my guys will go through to learn. Awesome. And what you'll see is there's a winning circle, and in this winning circle are all the powers in boxing, all the powers that are in boxing. So they understand this. I'm one phone call away from everybody in the world that matter in boxing. Text message, and what I said is what I brought to boxing was everything that none of these guys know until even now. They don't understand, and they don't understand that they are a company. And so I teach in our mastermind, we go through, how do you know what to do? Okay, I'm going to show you everything what to do. Just like your jab, you're going to know the business of boxing. You're going to know how to posture. You're going to know how to get leverage. You're going to know how to bring value to yourself. You're going to learn how to negotiate, but you're going to have people doing it for you. You're just going to know what they should know what to do. And that gives you power back, right?
You say it's the blind leading the blind. I mean, by the time you're a youngster, I don't know how you feel about this. Have you heard that a lot of amateurs, when they turn pro, they can't handle the pros. They can't handle 12 rounds, 10 rounds and whatever. There's a good reason why. I don't know about you guys, But from day one in amateur boxing, we were being abused in how to make weight. We were being overtrained.
Yeah.
If I did
Overtrained.
1,000 press ups in my training camp, a coach who means well would say, "Come on, 10 more."
They don't
All I was
understood.
doing was getting to the next training session, still fatigued from the first session.
Yeah.
How
They
many
didn't
good fights
understand.
did we lose doing that?
They didn't understand. I'm gonna tell you, my guys trained 10 minutes, 10-minute sessions, and then they boxed for 4 hours, right? But they trained condition wise. They was on this meal plan, right? All the way through. And I'm a nutritionist, all right? And my uncle loved that about me. He was just like, man, you know that food stuff. And then they understood the science of the running. But the reason why I'm showing you is when you can put it in black and white and put it in front of a person and all you do is read it out to them every day, it becomes second nature to them. They hear it all the time. They understand it. You got to push them into a place. And those trainers, they just didn't know, Neville. They just didn't understand.
They didn't know.
We won Golden Gloves so many times, and our training regimen was 10 minutes. I said, because the fight is 10 minutes long. Okay, so we're going to train in a way. Now you still got to go box, but we're going to train. Like you ain't got to go do nothing tonight.
You've got to be educated. You got to know what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
When I first started see, I did not know anything about nutrition, anything about weight. And you think about it, even the governing bodies of food and they were telling us, don't eat fat. Don't drink water while you're training.
Yeah.
We were so dehydrated.
Yeah.
One time I was so dehydrated, I saw 3 sets of pads. And the coaches, as you say, they didn't know any better. They would jokingly say, hit the one in the middle.
Hit the one in the middle. But you know what? You think about it.
In that condition going into the ring. And I'll tell you what, it was my first fight. My first fight after training, I'd gone to gyms. I didn't know if I was going anywhere in the sport, but everybody was telling me and talking and behaving around me in different ways. I'd be taken to gyms and I'd be sparring people. And my coach, who knew me from day one, like my father figure, he said to me, Neville, I don't want you sparring yet. It's a very strange thing to hear. Then he said to me, you're not ready. So I was like, well, but these other guys are boxing already. Now I'm sparring them and handling them. I goes, I know, but you don't know your strength yet. You're heavy-handed. You don't know about space. You come in, you're fast, you're competitive, and you're hurting the sparring partners in the gym. That's not what should be happening. There's a time for heavy sparring.
Yes.
There's a time for it, but not every session. Not after a 3-mile run and circuits, and then the end of the night. And I was 13, 14.
Yeah.
So I'd finish a 2.5-hour training session. And then after about a year, they said to me, they got me registered. And I was training. And the Friday night here, and if I write a book, this is what you'll be reading about. On a Friday night, they told me after the 2-hour training session, they weighed me after the 2-hour training session. And over here, Britain's cold. So we're wearing waterproof. We're wearing sweat tops, T-shirts, sweaters. So I'm losing a lot of water. They weighed me in, and I didn't have a clue about the scale. They didn't understand what kilos were. So I was 10 stone. I was 9 stone 7 after the training.
Yeah.
They said to me, I got a fight for you on Monday, your first fight. Ooh, I was ready for it, but I was scared. All of a sudden now, you know, everything changes now when you're actually going to the ring now for the first time. So my first fight was like, they said to me, right, go home Friday night. Don't eat too much over the weekend. Man, it's the end of the week, you know. I've already trained hard. They said to me, go home at the weekend. Don't eat too much over the weekend and don't drink too much. I'm already dehydrated now. So Sunday, my mom says to me, why are you not eating? I goes, I'm fighting tomorrow. She goes, yeah, and why are you not eating? I goes, oh, I've got to make weight. What weight? I didn't even know. I didn't even know what weight. I'd never been weighed before.
You know, okay, listen, hold on 1 second. My coach got a question. He said, when will you stop sparring before you fought for your professional. Well,
He's talking me.
yeah, he's asking when would you? Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
got
he ain't
an
gonna like, he
opportunity
ain't gonna
to work.
like this. Oh, he is gonna like this. He ain't gonna like this. I didn't get sparring for a lot of my fights.
Yeah. See, people don't understand these things.
When I boxed for the world title, I got 4 weeks notice. I'm a light middleweight, really. I'm now boxing. I'm a middleweight champion, and they've sent me in against Steve Collins with 4 weeks notice.
Oh, you fought Steve Collins?
12 stone. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, I had no sparring for that. How can you go for a world title fight, no pads really, and no sparring?
Yeah.
And the word was when I said, oh, I don't think I should fight this one. I'm being sensible here. 4 weeks notice, and I got to put weight on. Are you taking the mickey? They said to me, if you don't take it, we'll go to the European champion. And we're not coming back here.
Crazy.
So I took the fight. My dad was angry with me. This is the pressures a young fighter has. These people are telling me if I don't take this fight, I don't fight again.
I want you guys to listen to, because these are coaches out here listening to this stuff right here.
They'll know this. They know what's going on. That fighter, you have to protect that fighter, sometimes from himself.
You have to.
I would say it was wrong. I shouldn't be boxing. But God, God put me in a car crash 7 days before the fight. And I was waiting for some miracle to postpone this fight and give me 3 more months training for it and put some weight on to get up to 12 stone.
Yeah.
And I still went and took the fight. Even after the car crash, I could hear God going, why? I gave you a perfect option to get out of this fight and you just ignored it. We don't know. I believe that the show must continue.
No, that's your mindset. You were born to fight. And that's the DNA. A lion is meant to kill other animals that's not a lion.
Let me talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Some people say to me when I used to fight, they used to go, why? You're a natural man. And I used to go like, yeah, I'm a lion, whatever. And I thought about it. So what you're saying is that I never trained for this? It was natural. Everybody's born to fight. From the first breath you take to the last breath you take. You're a fighter. But what moves you? So I had this dream.
Exactly.
I wanted to be the world champion. I don't know why. But I wanted to be the world champion. I was successful in amateur boxing. I was successful in judo. And then I went into boxing and I had really good coaches around me. And then once I got good, other coaches turned up. And the safeguard I had with trainers was pushed aside.
Yeah. And
that went on all the time. So eventually I was I'm boxing for the world title. And with Brendan Ingalls, who's a lovely man, great trainer, but they did a lot of body sparring at that gym, which was a great system, but it is not boxing. It is
it's a drill.
It's not real.
It's
but
a
when
drill.
you learn how to body spar,
it's
an amazing sport. It's body conditioning.
Yeah.
And it saves the fighters years. We can get damaged. We're dehydrated, 2.5 hours training. We are dehydrated, and now we're competitive with one another. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
You've experienced what the fighters are experiencing. The difference is you got to the top levels with it. And basically you were just clueless in a lot of areas. You learned as you went.
Do you know what I'm very proud of when I look back at him?
Yeah.
Chris Eubanks, Senior.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Because
understand. Yeah.
He was sitting there negotiating with Hearn's
father.
Yep.
Yeah.
Barry Hearns, and he was negotiating with them, holding them, and he was doing a business. He had a business package. He was selecting his fighters, who's going to make him look good. I was like, whoa, I'm with Mickey Duff here. Then Frank Warren. Why are these men bringing in fighters for me to look good? Why are they dragging me down to a weight I can barely make within 3 or 4 days and expect me to look good fighting somebody? Some of the journeymen just came at you for 3 minutes and then just sat down and didn't, you know what I mean? How do you
Yeah.
handle these people when they're just rushing you? And then they're ready to sit down when they've had, I didn't know if they just sit down and that'll do me. I'm getting paid. That'll do me. And I was getting no money yet. When I boxed, I don't know if you understand, well, I'm on the dole over here in England.
Mm-hmm.
On the dole collecting money. I had to give up my job to train for the British title so I could be on the same level as the professionals 24/7. Otherwise, I'd call myself a semi-pro because I had to hold down a job.
You weren't making the money. You weren't living the life.
And my jobs are physical. So you're going home after laboring all day and then you got to hit the bags and do the road run. You're not good. You're not feeling good. You're not feeling the buzz.
Yeah.
And I got thinking, why am I here? Why am I doing this? But I love the art. I love the sport. I love what it made me.
What would you have done? What would it have meant to you to have a person that understood that you needed to know that stuff and taught you how to really be the champion when you got to the championship? They taught you how to negotiate, to be in the situations you wanted to get the fights that you wanted to.
I hear you. But you know what? I feel you, man. But you know what? It is so sly today that they won't even sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Oh, I know the game. Like the guys you're talking about
coming through, they need to know this. If you start sounding educated,
they're gonna duck.
They're gonna duck.
Yeah.
You'll see some movement from these promoters. I didn't realize they could move so well. They're not. You know, we didn't know anything. Mickey Duff, I thought by going with Mickey Duff, he'd take me to the top. He's the best promoter. He's the man who knows everything. The man just wanted me under his contract so that I couldn't fight the top men.
Yeah, you have to protect them. I done been on both sides of the thing. So I know why they do what they do because I understand the business of boxers. It's all about the business of boxing. And so that's why I'm in the middle making sure that I pull the strings across. And there's a dichotomy when there's no benefit to that guy, to Anthony Joshua fighting Andy Ruiz on short notice. And Andy Ruiz just fought 7 weeks prior and he's still warm.
He's still ready.
And they just want to fight in Madison Square Garden. So they keep the fight.
Yeah.
There's a dichotomy that made that fight happen. And it was understanding how to make it yummy to the promoter to the point that he becomes the naive person in the room. That's brain trickery. That's understanding pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You got to understand one thing about dealing with people like that. I know how to do that. I've made things happen. I've made some things happen that people don't even have a clue that it was because of private conversations that I know I need to be doing that on a more regular basis. And for my guys who I'm trying to teach this, that you got to know what's coming. See, you came in through fighting. I came in the business.
Okay. Yeah.
So I know what those guys think. I say it to people, and I not say it because I'm bragging. My circle isn't millionaires. My circle is billionaires, politicians.
Okay.
I deal with the people. Like I say, just because I might dress and talk like you guys, but when I close that boardroom door, I'm an entirely different animal. And that's the animal that I turn on. The one that they don't understand. He's an animal in sheep's clothing in here, right? Don't get it twisted. So knowing that side of the game right now, I know how I help the people that I help, and that even you're this close to me and you don't know that much about me like that, lets me know I'm doing my job right.
You know what I hear there?
Yeah.
I hear protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You understand me? As a fighter, when I hear you talking, I hear protection. Because you know as well as I do, there's more than one fight going on for every fight. There's
every time. That's why I had the Terrence Crawford fight the discussion Terrence Crawford went on yesterday was talking about the fight. Look, you just spoke to Chris Eubank Sr. did not want Chris Eubank Jr. to fight Nigel Benn,
Yep.
Conor Benn, because he understands, yeah, he's smaller, but you're going to be pulling your weight down. Like Chris Eubank to me is one of my heroes, one of the guys that I look on as a hero of boxing, because he's postured boxers, like the way you move, smooth, and like he talks that way. He understands the business.
He stepped up, and the media made a mockery of him.
Yeah.
I sat back and looked at this guy, and they weren't the best.
No.
Premier League fighters were the best. Your Roy Joneses. Your James Tonys. But these guys were businessmen. Eubank was a businessman.
Yeah.
He knew exactly to the dime, to the promotion, to the dot on the paper what was happening before he went in the ring.
Yes.
We didn't even know who we were fighting.
Yeah. See, that's the thing, that lineage, that knowledge.
When I hear you talking, I hear protection. And I think to myself, I want to protect the young fighters coming through now. But the young promoters, it starts off at the bottom there. Even the young promoters in these small halls, they're not letting you in because you're giving these young fighters information that they don't need to hear.
But the thing about,
they need this.
So Neville, let me tell you another thing. So I also I work with ESPN, Fight TV, a multitude of big networks. So the promoters make the money from a person like me. I'll brand their show, their fight, their rake in pay-per-views, because I can use my show to talk about it, or I can go on to any one of my guys' podcasts, and do a show and promote it like nobody else's business. And I drive money to the show. So the show makes money. They need an Eric Bradley. They need a Master Boxing. They need a Jab Juice. We bring them.
I need an Eric Bradley.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I needed it when I was coming through.
I know.
I was so blind.
Yeah, but I know, man, and that's what we can't do. We have to. I want people to respect boxing like they do football. Like, it's going to always be corruption, but the thing about it is, sometimes you're going to get stung, and sometimes you're going to do the stinging. It's not going to be all stinging. Like, you're just not going to be the only one stinging. The guys got to get educated. The coaches do. The coaches are, let me say, sometimes they're willingly naive because they just don't want to go out there to learn, because it might hurt them to not accomplish what they set out to do. And I just say, get educated. Education is the key anyway.
One of the big things, Eric, one of the big things is, it's like growing your son. Love my son. And you've heard Eubanks talking about his young son.
Yeah.
Wasn't paying attention to him. He'd been everywhere where his son is going.
Yes.
And I saw the tears in one of the guys on the podcast, because that's got to touch every man. When your son ain't listening to you. Now, my dad, I love my dad, but he couldn't be around me in boxing. He did not understand the game.
Yeah.
He did not understand the tactics. He was like, why are you training so hard? Why are you sweating? Why have you not eaten for 2-3 days and you're hardly drinking? And he's supposed to go against a world-class fighter or a European fighter. What's going on? Like, Dad, you don't understand. But he did understand, but he didn't know how to express it to me.
Yeah.
So it came across, and I knew he was right, but I didn't have the answers to give him.
You didn't understand it.
If I put him in a room with Mickey Duff, he'd have gone for him.
Yeah. But you know what a fighter knows. A fighter is fighting for his life. You have to stay there. You can't be a poodle 1 hour and then be a fighter.
This game we're in, to me, I'm biased, this is the best sport ever. It should be taught in school. It should teach young men how to be a man.
Yes.
Teach them. But the word fight, out of control. I don't like it.
Yeah.
We're competing at the weekend. I'm challenging.
Yeah, you can't use that here in the boxing, but amateur boxing, you can't even use that.
I say to people, look, listen, learn the art of this game. It's a beautiful game. boxing right now, maybe always has, is abusing itself. Doesn't need no help from nobody else. The sport is abusing itself. This
Who's
fight
the
with
best promoter? Who's the best promoter in your eyes today? And say it. Say why.
I'm gonna be sad. You know why? Nope, can't tell you. See, I had two promoters: Frank Warren, Mickey Duff.
What do you think of Frank Warren?
I love the way he spoke to me when he's in my face. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah,
respectful.
it's a business, and they
Business, but
yeah,
he
it's
was
two sides of the
polite.
pillow. Yeah.
When I
Who's
spoke to Mickey Duff about coming out the contract, and I wanted to come out the contract, everybody left the room.
yeah. Who's the
Terry
guy
Lawless,
that you think that
Terry
who
Lawless,
is
Terry
Go ahead.
Lawless left the room, and my man leaned over to me and said, "You will sign this contract, otherwise you won't box again."
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Larry
like,
Larry Linton
did I hear that
said,
right? Did I hear that right?
yeah,
And they had the power to do this, but would they really? Is it a threat?
yeah.
It's my personal experience. I don't know if anybody else goes through it, but I don't see why not. Frank Warren now, he was always polite in front of me. He may have been
Mhm.
business-like behind.
He's still a good guy. He's still really,
That's right. So I
yeah.
listen to these guys and I say, I respect all of them because it's the game. I'm complaining because I'm not liking the way I'm being treated, but I can't get out of the contract to get the fights I want. And
Mhm.
I want to be respected for me. This game's it's a short game.
Yeah.
30. I'm getting close to 30. And I realize now I could have still boxed at 40.
Oh
If
yeah, but the
we were
the life is
trained
different.
correctly, I'm
Yeah.
56 now and I'm still doing 12 rounds. And I think technically, wow, I never thought I'd be doing this at this age. So when I retired at 34, I had plenty left in me. But the politics,
I'll wear
short
you
notice
out.
fights, they
Yeah.
drained me out. And when I boxed a guy, a lovely fighter from Australia, what's his name again? Oh God, sorry, Sam. I boxed a guy for light middleweight. They gave me 4 days to get to the fight. You can't be ready for a fight in that short time. And I walked away from the sport after that. So I was crushed.
Yeah.
But here's the beauty. Here's why I'm blessed. I never got damaged or hurt in this game physically.
No.
I've got man and man. Today, they can't remember their children.
Yeah.
We were in the same boat. We were in the same teams. We were boxing, again, for our country. And some of these guys are broke. Some have
Yeah.
ended their lives. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the protection for these boys?
Well, we're I'm doing some work now with the
And thank you.
a recently definitely dug our foot now into getting testing, and I'm just going to contribute everything I can to um, the entity that's doing all of this, and I won't get into details, but they're going to be able to have all levels of fighters, former fighters, people that are in any kind of distress. And this took a long time to pull together, and definitely wasn't on my back, but I'm using everything that I can bring to the game to put behind it, and that to let people know that a better day is here upon us now. This is the day that we've been looking for, where fighters can be looked after and seen and get treated and
Yeah.
stay,
Yeah.
have a place to stay, and a community is going to be an entire like it's so big that it doesn't even seem real. So special shouts out to my people that are watching, and you know who you are, that are doing those kind of things and making those kind of moves, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. And I will do a lot, and I will contribute and over contribute and do what I need to do to bring value to that movement, because I'm focusing on teaching fighters and stuff and the trainers, financial literacy, how to manage and grow and expand your money, and invest and be smart when you get
Oh, yeah.
money. And
Yes.
I've even
Yes.
I've even invested into people, and that's where it comes full circle. And so anything that I talk about, I let everybody know I'm ready for that fight. I don't even want to put the trophies on the wall when it comes down to being ready for a fight. Because I know if you taking on a sport, look, my cousin is the director of player personnel for the NFL, the richest organization on the planet. Okay, period.
Yeah.
I know business. I want people to understand I'm not some dude. You know what I'm saying? My circle, I'm around people that can purchase half of the planet Earth. When
But
you're in that circle of
but I
education,
hear the passion. I hear the passion.
yeah, because I don't
And
want
I
our people.
want to see it.
I don't want to.
I want to see it.
want to see people. I don't want to see people taken advantage of because they fell in love with a sport that they wanted to compete in, and when they compete in it, they get taken for granted and taken advantage of. And I said it's going to be a long journey because some of the things that I say is over their head, and I gotta put it in front of them enough for it to become a conversation that they used to hearing. And that's what I do. I say it so often, and soon they'll be like, Coach always says that. And guys have come up to me from decades back and say, man, now I know what you was talking about. Like, yeah, man, you was up on some stuff a long time ago. And I'm saying, yeah, and I'm still on it. And these guys ain't nothing that I'm saying that's new. I've been saying it for 3 decades.
Well, this is it. It's a full-time job, what you're saying.
Yeah, it is.
And this talk's going on with every fighter. I don't care what level they're at. Every fighter talks about this.
Yeah.
There's a small percentage that possibly can do something about it. But there's a large percentage that are struggling to make a day, make a week's earning of money to feed them.
But Neville, what's wrong is the fighters are so focused on. Let me tell you what my experience was.
That's right, of course they are.
But my experience in the gyms was like, damn, I'm trying to learn everything I don't know. So I ain't got time to worry about the shit that's out there. I got to learn. Like, I can't figure that out. I'm trying to understand how not to get hit with this fucking jab. So, that's a lot. And then you're going home to go to sleep, to wake up, to come back and do that shit again. And some guy peppering you. Like, you're learning something. Your whole brain is just totally compromised with it. You can't learn more stuff. So
we're driven by wanting to be better.
Yeah.
And we're competing. I see a lot of gyms, my gym included, when I first came in.
Hold up. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Larry Liston, his first comment was, a lot of modern boxing fans are extremely disrespectful towards fighters. Okay, you're definitely right about that. That's just people. That's in every sport, in every profession. But now his question was, salute to you both, gentlemen. Also, what memory does Neville have from his fight against Steve Collins? Good question.
Okay. Sometimes in fights, you win, but you lose, but you win. Sometimes you lose and you win. That fight was a win for me. Even though I didn't get the decision, I didn't get hurt. I had 4 weeks notice, and I was having 3 breakfasts a day just to make the weight. And I weighed in at 11 stone. It was beautiful.
He was naturally big.
I could eat, but I wasn't in shape. You need 3 months for 12 weeks of training, for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
I had 4 weeks. So the most I had in me was 6 good rounds in me. After that, I was on borrowed time. I got a big, strong guy, a big bull, and I could read his punches, so I wasn't getting hit. I stayed inside and stayed comfortable, and I was hoping to do the distance, and I just wanted to put a good performance up because then I'd get recognized. But I can't knock it. I didn't get hurt. I thought the fight was closer than they made it out to be.
Well, his handlers didn't want you to have a good fight. They didn't want you to have a good fight. They wanted you to have a. They wanted you to have a 3-round night.
I wasn't supposed to win.
Yeah, but you
don't 2 standing counts, and
you listen. But you look, anatomy is anatomy, mass is mass, matter is matter. 154 pounds to 160 pounds. Like 6 pounds is a lot. 7 pounds is a lot further than that when you're from 140 to 147. The
But
difference
you
is
know
the
what?
dexterity of the body. You're
Hear
talking
this,
about
though.
bone.
But
You know,
hear this, though. Hear
yeah.
this. When I went into the fight, I was 12 stone. The day of the scales are next to my hotel room in Ireland. And I just jumped onto the scales before I went to the arena. And I was 12-1. I can swear to God, he was 14 stone by the time he was in that ring.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Because
it's not 24 hours. It was 36 hours, right? So when we got to the ring, he was a massive. And I thought, okay. But I had no trickery to keep out of trouble and keep there. But I couldn't put my foot on the engine like I wanted to do because I only had 6 rounds in me. So I've got to spread 6 rounds over 12 rounds. You got to hold some back. By the way, I loved the fight. I got in there, I wasn't hurt, and I gave a good, rugged, tough guy, one of the big names in boxing. He beat Eubanks twice, then Ben beat Ben twice, and I'm in the middle of there having a good ding-dong with him.
Yeah.
But after the fight, I weighed myself.
You were probably...
How much do you think I weighed?
9 stone.
You know what? You're the closest one.
I know.
I weighed 10 stone 7.
Yeah. You know why I know? You know why I know?
You know boxing. That's why you knew.
So, but what I do know is all you had is rocks in your pocket that night, though, because you ate your way up. So all that is fluid and undigested poop. Like weight takes a long time to settle into your body. You just could box. You just was a regular guy would have went in there and got knocked out because mass against mass.
Listen to what you're saying because I never heard this from any of my coaches.
Yeah.
And you know what? My coach Brendan said to me when I got 4 weeks' notice, he goes, "You do realize this is 12 stone, don't you?" And I was on it. I was eating everything. I was eating everything, and I was losing weight. I couldn't keep it on. My metabolism was beautiful.
Metabolic, yeah.
But normally I struggle to make 11.6.
Yeah.
The week of the fight, I'm telling you, I got to lose 10 pounds to a stone every goddamn time. This is professional. I'm really embarrassed to use that word.
Yeah.
I wasn't professional. I didn't even know how to eat. I didn't know how to fast. I didn't know how to do anything to make the weight. Starve. That's all I knew. 5 mile rule.
That's all you knew. That's what you were taught. You
But
know what
after
you
the
were taught, and then what experience will show you. But you're a young kid. And you think about when you think of the age 23 now, 24, when you think of that, how young that is, 25. Like these guys, your brain's not even developed yet till you're 25.
That's right. And look at the sport we're in. Now over here, they've finally started stopping children from heroin footballs.
Yeah.
Because their brains are still growing. And our youngsters need to know this. That we are not designed to be hit.
I say it all the time.
We have skill sets. We learn to roll with the shots. We move.
Yeah.
Even in training, a bag is not a punch bag. A bag is an opponent. So you treat that bag like it's got arms.
Yeah, that's right. You never.
When I walk into a lot of gyms in my day, maybe even today, I don't go into so much gyms now, but I used to see the same motto. The kid would join the gym. So you want to box, do you? Yeah, I want to box. Right. On the run, flat out. On the bag, you're attacking the bag. You're attacking pads. You're attacking press-ups. You're attacking sit-ups. You're attacking everything. Weights, the lot. What are you going to do when you spar? Oh, you're not going to attack the man you're in the ring with. You're not being taught 1 ounce of boxing. So I get a lot of lads going to gyms and they're just roxing one another. I'm thinking, damn, these guys are going to get, they're going to get the spirit knocked out of them. And these habits, and this is the secret as well, this is what you're treating now, the habits are what become problems. Habit is just something you do without thinking. It's neither good or bad. Yeah. But in the habits we get into it so bad, I was mentioning this earlier, when the amateurs can get dehydrated, they can get through 3 rounds just. Because they're dehydrated, they've conditioned their body to handle 3 rounds. It's wrong training, it's wrong drainage. Then they go 12 rounds, 8 rounds, and they can't do the same tricks that they've got the habit of doing, crashing down to make weight. And then they go into a professional fight, 5 rounds, 6 rounds later. Like you said, the man Eubanks. Why was he even considering this fight? Money.
Money. But he said it wasn't. He said it was legacy, but I know the deal. I mean, Conor being okay. So what happens when he comes down?
I know. I know what
freaking nearly
happens.
20. And he said it. He said, I'm gonna be only 60% of myself, and Conor Ben is gonna be able to be.
If I was his
even.
dad, you know what I would have done with him? If I was his dad, I'd have said to him, okay, the fight's off, met weight, come with me, and we're gonna train after you've eaten for 24 hours or whatever you've done. Remember, then they allowed him to put 8 pounds on. I'm gonna take him to the gym. I'm gonna ask him to do what he normally does in the gym. And he's supposed to be fresh. He's supposed to be ready to go for the fight. I'm going to say, do you know the run we do? Like a normal training session? Give it me. Right, now we're going to do pads for 6 rounds. Now we're going to do the bags. Now we're doing technical. Now we're doing medicine ball. Now we're doing our drills. This is a normal day. I want you to imagine you're fighting. Oh, by the way, look at your marks. You're 2 seconds behind. You're punching. You're fatigued after 6 rounds. You've got no recovery. What would have happened in round 5, round 6, when this man, from all accounts, souped up on something?
Yeah.
And even if he wasn't, he's coming up weight. He's fresh, full of energy.
He's strong. And he's a real puncher.
And he's well, I don't know. I mean, he's become a puncher. I didn't think he was one 3 years ago.
No, but Manny Pacquiao has some super sauce too, and he was blazing through that.
I want some of that fish he's eating, man.
Yeah. So, but if he was on it, one thing that's happening, your bones. If it's making your bones denser, and you hitting guys, I watch how guys are going down. Like guys are knocked out. Like they're disconnected from consciousness. It's not a force. And they down and they like coherent. Like he's hitting these dudes barely, missing them almost. And then they, George Foreman used to do that back in the 70s to guys. Just nip them and they just almost uncomfortable. Like that's a different kind of hit. Like, so when they say, well, he's taking something, I'm saying, yeah, but it ain't like his dad want a monster in that ring. His dad had them hammers too. That's a genetic thing. Now, when you taking something on top of that, like, because I know,
do you know how
Roy Jones Jr. and Holyfield was on, did some things, to make sure that he had that super sauce going on, because he had to gain 30 pounds. Mackie Shieldstone had him put him on, but he understood certain things that he needed, because he needed a recovery. 1, 2, you needed dexterity to deal with Riddick Bowe at 235. When you do that, but it wasn't making him hit harder. Like what you able to do in the ring with them hammers, like you got hammers or you got nails. You that doesn't switch. You might be more violent with what you're throwing, like Gerald McClellan.
Well, you think about the fight you're talking about with Roy,
and
the heavyweight. I mean, come on, guys. I was listening to these guys talk, and they were saying he's a blown up heavyweight. He can't hit hard. Have these guys been in the boxing ring? Have these guys been in the boxing ring? If someone can time a punch on you,
there's a man who punches every day to hurt another man.
When he got the 2nd or 3rd round, when he got hit, he realized he's got problems.
Yeah.
And all he did then was walk down Jones for the next 12 rounds. He could not just rush in and walk through this guy.
No, because Mackie Shieldstone told him there's going to be a moment in this fight and you are going to catch him and he's going to know you're a heavyweight.
That's right.
And he did. Mackie Shieldstone is the guy I patterned my knowledge behind, because I was like, this is the smartest guy in physiology on the planet. That's my bar. And
but look what it did.
Yeah.
That short fight for the heavyweight fight, we lost Roy Jones then because he couldn't met the weight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was mentally that was it. Like when you mentally gone, you can try to train, but the purpose ain't there anymore.
His body had gone. When I heard, I kept saying, how'd you get rid of a stone of muscle? I was asking this guy who does good. He said it's a year training.
Yeah.
And it's aerobic training.
Remember this. Always remember this. And I don't know if you guys over in the UK really knew Mackie Shieldstone. Mackie Shieldstone was to Roy Jones to what I am to these guys today. He's an absolute. He wasn't a fighter. He wasn't a boxer. He was a physiologist that knew the human body and the human mind better than any man on the planet. Right? Okay. So he was like, if you go back and pull up Countdown, Ruiz versus Jones, and watch that show. Man, it's 30 minutes. You'll be like, wow, this dude is the real deal. He got Roy. He told him it's gonna be a moment in that fight. She was like Custody Amato kind of.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a moment in that fight where he's gonna be opened up because his focus is to celebrate his people and put a country on his back. And it's gonna be a moment in that fight where he's gonna be wide open. And you're going to crack him.
That's what
he's going to know that you are a heavyweight, and he won't try that. And Roy, you saw it, and he hit him, and that boy's legs jumped up.
Yeah, man, staggered him in his face, said everything. He thought, how can you think for 1 minute but a man can't hurt you if you're walking forward? I
got another question from Larry Linton. He said, how did it feel winning the British title in the historic York Hall?
Wow. You know what? Memories now. I actually thought I'd made it because for that point I was trying to get to the championships. I boxed a guy called Frank Grant, and he stopped one of our top champions, Errol Bomber Graham. And I got the phone call saying, "You've got Frank Grant." I wasn't supposed to win. So
spoiler plans.
So what I did, right? I thought I can box and I can fight. And my boys were Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hearns, the boys, Marvin Hagler. So I mimicked them. When I watched them fight, that's all I ever watched. Back in the 80s.
Yeah, that was it.
I just got little clippets.
That's it. I got the whole library. I got the whole
Now you got. Back then we didn't see anything.
Oh, really?
We didn't see anything in England.
Oh man, I recorded everything. I still got it.
I got 20. We got 5 rounds of Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns' first fight. How can you show us 5 rounds of a Titanic fight like that?
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we was living. Yeah, man.
We didn't see what was going on in the dark rounds and rounds where it gets dark.
It gets dark.
And people don't realize this. This is when the training comes in. Them man were the business, man. I don't think we'll ever see that time again. Sorry, boys.
You will never see that time again. No. That's why it's called history.
That's why it is
it's gone.
It's gone in a lot of ways, man.
You'll never see that phenom like Mike Tyson. See, Mike Tyson's here now. He's over here at Palm Beach boxing every day now, and you'll never see that again. You'll never see that kind of thing.
Doesn't that make you sad?
No, it just lets me know I was able to grow up in a legendary era of boxing, and I did get to witness it. I got to witness it, and you know what? I can't wait to sit down and have a meal with.
Let me go back to this question. How did I feel? I was on top of the world. I thought I'd made it. I came out. I thought, right. I didn't do much sparring again. That's interesting, isn't it? So what I did was pad work and mind training. But I could see my hands were in the wrong place. And I was evasive. And I would just every day train. Every time I looked at one video of him, and I watched every time he stepped as a southpaw. Every time he had a step, I popped him. And I'm heavy-handed. So I popped him. And I moved away and I popped him. So I thought I was totally in control of the fight. I'd made the weight beautiful because I'd given time now. I'd stopped my job to go 24/7. And experience. I say this, you know this is how bad it was getting. I was boxing for the British title. It might mean nothing to the stateside boys, right? But in my little country, it was everything for me, yeah?
No.
And when I was boxing this dude, I couldn't feed myself. I had no food. And there was a young lady, her name is Jackie.
And
I used to come around on purpose around the right time when she was cooking food. And I was like, I'm just passing by. She goes, let me feed you. I went, good. Rice and chicken, you name it. I was like, I couldn't tell her until like 2 or 3 years later. I said, you know what? I owe you big time. She goes, why? I goes, I was so broke. I had no money. I had no tax on my car. I had no petrol. I had to travel 45 miles to the gym every day. And I was like, I had to win this fight. So when I popped him and then I'd given a chance to train, and he was a tough, strong fighter, southpaw. So I sat on and I was outboxed him, and I thought I'm going to keep hitting him. And the later part of the fight, I'm going to sit on him. I didn't need to. By the 7th round, I bust him up. He got. Do you know what? I respect this man to this day. I know he thought by giving me the chance to fight, he thought he was going to beat me.
Yeah.
He gave me the chance, though. You understand me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And fighters didn't have to give us chances. And I got the chance, and I took it with both hands. And I thought I made it. And I said I'd never cry in the ring. I got tears outside the ring because it was big. It was emotional. But then I realized the game. Me and Frank, I hope, are still close and tight today. He rings me from time to time. The man was a beautiful man, wicked champion, and he had a team behind him as well. He had a good, like you mentioned, he did have a good team. I didn't. I was kind of still solo. I was still on my own. I was back and forth with Brendan, but I was kind of on my own training. How can you be? Where was my team? So when I hear you talking, man, I want to reach in and grab you.
Yeah.
I know young fighters today in this country, man, in the stateside, fighters today are not being looked after.
No, I know they messaging us on a constant, man. It's crazy, Neville. You know, but my friend here, Giddy Vargas, said he had a bag signed by Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and then he said, "I make a box into my question is why nobody speaks of Marvelous partner.
No,
he also was a great fighter.
He was the 4, isn't it? He was amazing. Let me give you a joke here. Marvin came over. We took a picture. We had photos. And the man is, I've watched him from day one. Destroy Alan Minter. You name it. Simpson, the boys over here, took him apart. And I thought, this man, how does this man at 5'8" have this kind of power? How does he generate this kind of power with the switch mode?
Bones.
And he's got these long arms.
Yeah, the dexterity, man. I've been trying to tell the guy.
Fighting machine. But anyway, I had to ask him the question. You're not going to ask him, don't you?
What?
I asked him the question. I went,
you should know. No, you did not.
I did. I asked him, Marvin, do you know when you fought Tommy? Does he hit as hard as they say he does? Marvin gave me that look and he went, man, you know better than that to ask me a stupid question like that. I felt like a child again. But I felt like a child because I had to ask him because what him and look at we mentioned very quickly. Look at today's fighters. Do we really need to badmouth each other the way we do? I don't like it personally.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah. I grew up with the Marvin Haglers, the Sugar Rays, the Tommy Earns. Yeah. Marvin Hagler and Tommy Earns did not need to badmouth each other. The tension you could feel.
Livingstone, Bramble.
Right. Why is Marvin not spoke about more?
No, you're right.
There should be a statue of Marvin. If there isn't already, there should be a statue of Marvin.
Yeah, they'll do that. They'll definitely. Detroit, Boston. Yeah, Massachusetts. They'll do it because he just, the Brock. I mean, he just brought the smoke, man. I mean, nobody can ever question that, and anything that's a loss on his record is questionable. Like he really was a man that really never really lost a fight. I mean, it was always like what? But I thought so much of him, and I want to connect with his family. That's one thing I got to do because what he did and how he did it, it was just masterful. He came down from nowhere, like from the bottom, like they wouldn't. He was so good they knew it, and they didn't want to give him a chance. He had to fight like Winky Wright.
They had to talk to the government to get him a fight because they was being avoided. How many more warriors? Are you guys listening out there? How many more warriors are out there with the same ingredients that Marvin had?
And
understand what he did. Because we're not seeing the best fighters anymore. So we need people like you, sir, to get behind these young fighters and educate them.
Yeah. That's what we're doing, man.
Educate them. Understand this game. When they finish it, they're smiling and they've got their intelligence and they can hold a conversation together. I'm blessed because I was in some fights. I had 3 fights, making the weight, the most disgusting way possible. No food, no drink for days before the fight. How is
Yeah,
that
that's
possible?
tough, man.
I'm
Because
ashamed to call
people are
myself
doing, but Neville, like the thing about it is that's what's still happening. Guys don't
That's
know the
my point.
game. And Giddy
Education
said,
now is there.
GT203 said, thank you for talking about him. She really said she
Please, man, that
appreciated it.
man
And I
is
did know you were a female. I didn't think anybody was a dude named Giddy, but no, we pay homage. We pay homage. I like to make sure I connect with the families and pay it real and try to do something in their honor or contribute to whatever charities they are part of or bring notoriety to what they got going on. I mean, I want to do something that people know something was done. He didn't just talk me to death, like, because it's a privilege. You're royalty. I put that on your thing. I said boxing royalty. You know, people will learn. The guys that are listening to you now, right now, they're learning something that they never knew. Like you told, you just was so transparent.
They are learning how to handle themselves. I was going to swear then. They know how to. I'm teaching my fighters how to handle themselves so they can hold their head up high. Winning is important. I want a gym that everybody grows in the gym. Not just the blue-eyed blonde, as we say over here in England. Everybody pays their subs. They all come away learning. And if I have a system that works, which I believe I do, I teach people how to fight at all levels.
You're
because
very
I teach
good.
about self.
You don't just teach boxing. Let me make sure people understand. People, he's modest. It's like Michael Jackson saying, "Yeah, I dance every once in a while." This man makes boxing magical. He makes it an experience for people. It's not that they're boxing. They can go to any trainer or coach and get boxing. He turns it into an experience. It's like Fred Astaire in motion with the music. And when we came on, he was came in the show with his music on in the background. And look, he gives something that every gym should have.
My first trainer, gave me heart. He taught me how to hold my own.
Yeah.
I got lost in the fusion of the politics and I was too young to understand that. I didn't realize money was being used and abused in the game because it was an amateur sport at the time. And I'm like shocked that it was that when I found out the gambling, we were like pit bulls being taken up and down the country to fight in Liverpool, in Birmingham, in London. And we didn't get no money. We just got a ticket and a meal ticket.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And I think to myself, I hope it isn't like that today. Because, like you say, we have the knowledge now. These young fighters need to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Talk to a man who's been there. Some of us, there is world champion class fighters who never got the chance.
Yeah, they don't, man. They never got the chance.
The fighters, like you said, they're working on their food, they're drinking, they're training, they got sparring partners trying to blast them out. They haven't got time to sit down and think about, okay, let me think about my future here. It don't work like that. There needs to be a team. There needs to be a team around them.
But you know what, Neville, and this is probably why you thought what you thought when you were young. You saw the television. When you saw the champ, you saw the rings, the girls, the belts, the cameras, the lights, the guy leaving with the press behind him, people taking people interviewing. So all that comes with it. So all I got to do is go out here and knock this dude out, and I get all of that. And so that's what. So think about these kids who've grown up watching Floyd and Pacquiao.
But remember this though, champ. Remember this. Nobody taught me how to handle that. When I started to get a little bit of fame, I did not know how to handle it.
Yeah,
that needs teaching.
Yeah,
I must stay humble. I did stay humble, but it was like overwhelming. All of a sudden, I was walking the streets and people were pipping their horn and telling me how what I'd done. And for a young man, and today's got to be worse with socialists, where the socialists today, networks. Come on, man, it's not real.
Yeah.
Out there is frightening.
Yeah.
There's no reality out there anymore.
No. And we losing our people. And
Who would have believed we've got? I mean, I'm not knocking the next man. Might sound like it because whoever makes books, fine.
yeah.
We got YouTubers bigging up, getting
Please,
more
I can't.
attention.
I
You
can't.
know I'm going with this, don't you?
Yeah, I can't do it because Showtime done signed on this stuff. The Zone. I can't
All I
do
want
it.
to say is this: look
Yeah.
at the fighters who trained from 8 years of age, 10
Yeah.
years of age, won the schoolboys, won the national championships, get to box for their country, get to the Olympics. But you know what? They don't quite make the medals. Our
Let me-
sport is so harsh
So-
that we don't even know who they are. They're not even
Yeah.
remembered.
So, well, really what's happening is the pandemic, the game was speeding back up, and the pandemic gave opportunity for people to step up. All the fighters
Which is
got
good.
lazy.
Which is
All
good.
the fighters got lazy, and what happened is people like the brothers came in and they took an opportunity to step in and be entertaining and now you got a whole card full of people who don't box, a whole card, and they promoting it as a pay-per-view. And why? Because there are a lot of people coming from different areas that will buy it.
Which is good. Which is good. But
But it's not. They're not selling like people thought. The buzz is gone from the actual pay-per-views. Like,
But
yeah,
as you say, we're bringing in new people. who
that's
don't know
good.
Boxing. That's
Yeah.
good. But guess what? They need educating.
Yes.
They need to understand what goes on in that ring. They need to
Yeah.
understand what it feels like when you get cracked in the ribs.
Yeah.
They need to know when
Well, they learning.
I don't win this fight.
They learning.
Yeah.
They learning.
I'm talking the public.
Yeah, but
It's have got to understand what we go through to go through those ropes.
Yeah, but at the same time, the kind of people that are coming are people who already had a choice to watch it, didn't they? They're only watching for the what we call the clickbait kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, but they're not even spending the money. The pay-per-view numbers are out. Those fights, they making junk numbers. And what we need to really focus on is really capturing the game of boxing back, promoting boxers that and the body, sanctioning bodies, the people in it. And that's what we're going to use this platform for. We're going to build it back up and bring us different kind of client, a different kind of fan, the kind of fan that likes to learn about the person that's going into the ring, not just for the outcome, but for the experience of knowing that that person went through A through Z. This is why I said they should have never stopped watching the Contender show. Why did they stop playing a show that gave people an insight to the actual athlete and what he's going through in real life? And, the UFC does that. They give you a total, like, that's year round. They don't stop the Contender series for the UFC. It's year round because Dana knows that people get connected to the fighters. And then the next thing you know, you got another marquee fighter because people have watched them and they were like, yo, that dude's and you get an early peep in boxing. It's just like arrogance is what's killing boxing. Too many. Yeah.
You gotta have an ego. You gotta have an ego, but it's gotta be control. And that's
but you guys over there, but I'm gonna give it to you over in the UK, and this is what we say over in the UK, and even behind the gloves with Michelle Joy Phelps and these people who go over there, Radio Raheem, they go over there, they just say, it's just a real fight town. In America, it's so much other stuff, the Kardashians, like it's so much other stuff. It's just like down in Miami. Miami don't need sports, man. This place is like heaven. Like you don't need, like you got South, but it's a bonus. It's a bonus, and we want boxing to be more than a bonus. We want it to be more than a bonus. We want people to understand the layering of it and the depth of an athlete.
Don't we want
if you were on a show, like if you were on, let's just say Ellen DeGeneres or Good Morning America, if you were on a show like that talking, like you'd have so many people in love with you because really what I do is just show clips of you doing your thing. Man, you had a movement going because what you're doing is authentic. And that's why I had you up here, because I wanted people to see an authentic guy who's real, the real deal. He's not smoke and mirrors.
I'm
And
just being me, man. I'm just being me. I entertain myself. I understand that I am only me, and all I can bring to the table is me.
yeah,
Now, if I can turn people's heads, if I can make them think, if I can make them better, I'm winning. That's the fight we have right now. That's the fight. When it comes to guys, I get a lot of kids coming to me now because they're coming to me now. They're struggling in school because they're shy. They're not sure how to carry themselves. I saw it with the young ladies growing up. They're not what they're supposed to be in the media. So the girls are really trying hard. But I notice now over here, especially, the boys are losing confidence. And I get guys coming to me who don't even know how to train anymore, don't know how to run. What's that about?
yeah,
What is that about?
yeah. It's because
how does this work? I understand. Stop looking outside himself because I want what he's got, what she's got. Look inside here and bring out the best. Just bring out best. And if you don't know, pick up the phone, talk to somebody. We have ways to do it. Boxing, to me, I think, I'm being biased, should be the best sport in the world. Because, see, I think when it's done right, it's real. It's real. A man steps into that ring, it's real. You follow? You got to admire. Some people say to me sometimes, why did this dude get in the ring of the night for? He can't box. I goes, wow, that takes some confidence. Because I got in the ring because I knew I could box and I trained. So if he hasn't got skills, why? That takes some bravery. Still takes some bravery to get into a ring. If you, I can get in the ring with you, so I've got confidence in my ability. If I don't have confidence in my ability and I get into the ring,
so
the question is why is there?
yeah. So Coach Paul Haraber said, you'll love this. He said, "There's no saying sorry in my gym. Why? Because we don't need to say sorry for attempting to learn something. Boxing,
Whoa. Yes, on the
so we all do 20 push-ups, including me as a coach. If anyone says sorry." Hey, you're teaching a lesson that they'll never forget.
Teaching young men.
Yeah, because most of these coaches can't do 20 push-ups. And we talking about the coaches with some of the titles. They just not in shape. Respect to my guy, Derek James, who's gotten in phenomenal shape, definitely since the pandemic. He almost looks like a super welterweight. Looks good. And he's living the life that he's supposed to live as a trainer.
Feel good because I sense he feels good.
Yeah. Boxing is the hardest fighting style reason you can only use your hands. Yeah. Every other style is multiple other body parts and grappling moves. Boxing is difficult. That's why a lot of people leave. And let me explain. When mixed martial arts and martial arts came over here seriously after the UFC began in '93, when those guys started coming in about 2004, 2003, Horace Gracie brought a slew of his education into a department in one of our gyms. And so the guys were training. A lot of the guys came to try to box first, and they were getting their heads peeled back. We were pulling their ears off, and the guys just lost their confidence. And then they went and started grappling, and they liked that better because they had more control. And so a lot of these guys who are in that world have tried boxing, and boxing is just so difficult. It's so difficult for a person to concentrate and have so many rules to know and still try to deliver damage. And there's so many things to overcome. And people think, well, it got to be easier than your mixed martial arts. Say, no, it's not. Why do you think every single one of those guys that's coming in boxing over here is getting knocked out? Because it's not easier. It's something that you are becoming expert at. You can't become an expert at 6 disciplines. Yeah, you only got one brain. Yeah, that's why they call it the sweet science.
Well, we're biased. You know that we're going to be full of boxing.
Well, no. But the thing about it is, I've groomed mixed martial artists and made them champion. I mean, I don't have a biased line. I am boxing, But what I'm saying is, I call it like I see it. If you do a show, you can't be biased on the show. You got to just say what the facts are. The facts are, for 10 years, I watched guys come into a boxing gym and try to box, and then they couldn't do it. So they went to mixed martial arts because that was easier for them to be able to kick and punch and do everything.
It's a different energy, but you know what? You
Yeah.
got to master what you do. I mean, I came into judo when I first came into boxing.
Yeah.
There is no training that gets you ready for the wrestling, for the holding down, for the man on man. There's no machine they have yet that gives you the strength to take your arm from behind and fight this man.
Yeah.
Wrestling is every boy and girl, every boy should be teaching themselves judo or some kind of grappling. Grappling is important, how to hold oneself and how to hold, and then you learn the art.
You learn how to manipulate. You learn how to manipulate the joints and sockets standing too when you mastering them.
If they're stronger than you can turn it on them.
Yeah, it's a lot of different things, man, that people don't understand about it. Yeah, and people are learning more about how important it is now. They are, like, boxing was totally cold to it before, but a lot of people in boxing pay attention. You know, Dana White took a large opportunity when the pandemic was here to put fights on. So they were the only thing going. Like, all you could see is wrestling in the UFC. Like, that's the only things going. Like, nothing else was going. Everybody else was scared to death to catch COVID.
But how's the boys looking over there? Because I grew up on American fighters. I grew up on them. Larry Holmes, Mike Weaver, you name them.
Yeah, those guys stay active too around, man. They just always at it stuff.
Where's the Americans now?
They doing good, man. You know why? Because there's a lot of attention paid to them. It's always functions going on, and it's always money raising, and it's a little different than it used to be because everybody knows. Now, back in the day with Joe Louis and those guys were in the poverty when nobody knew it, is because it was new kind of still. You know, it wasn't a thing that, you know, he's sitting ringside, but at one point in his life, he was a bellboy at a hotel. You talking about the freaking Brown Bomber? Like, that's crazy. So now people know when you have the opportunity to have these athletes in your presence, let's make something happen. It's more of that going on. And it's a lot of people who want to get in boxing. They just want to have their toes in it. Like this company that Adrian Broner and Terrence Crawford just signed with, BLK, the BLK company, Black Prime. So they gave Terrence Crawford $10 million to fight this guy who's kind of like not a real threat, decent boxer, but
contender.
So people just want to get their toe in. So
is he a contender?
You know, at one point in time, he's probably a prospect, but then there are levels. When you get to the certain level, you're like, oh, I don't belong here. You know, that's what he's about to experience. That's what he's about to experience. He's about to experience, oh, I don't belong here because I'm in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford eats cats.
It's good to enter in that ring with Terrence.
No one teach how to use the uppercut. Okay, this guy right here, I'll let you take this question. Why does no one teach how to use the uppercut in the pocket, catch and throw? Carlo.
Oh, I just say, why are they not teaching this? I think a lot of the time, are the youngsters ready to listen to this? Because I teach every shot.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. How many of you is it though? You know, we're not multiplying you. That's the thing. I'm multiplying myself so that there will be more people out there to do it, because you're only one person. Your knowledge is you know, you got it, and you
if they want it, I got the knowledge. I'd love to get all of these fights and do stuff with them.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you into a clinic, a virtual clinic, and I'll let you take my guys through an exercise routine that you will go through. Chop Corley did it last for me, and Chop was good.
I got a system where I want to try and knock the boys out, right?
Yeah.
They understand. They'll
Yo,
understand. If I can make them make a mistake by my smart to box, I get them to work to a CD, I work on a program, and they got combinations to stay with.
yeah. Oh,
Basic combinations to start off with.
I I co-sign on everything you doing.
I
So
want to see you do it. You gotta do it.
yeah. Oh yeah, I love what you do because that's what I like. That's why
It's
I'm attracted to it because you're so smooth with it, and I just say, yo, don't get it twisted. I'm a performer now. When that's why I said that's my dude right there.
But you know
I
what?
like
Sometimes,
because
sometimes I'm trying
what
to
you're
say,
doing is something that a whole family can get involved in.
yes.
Just it's just raw and
There's,
it's awesome and it's just good vibes. And I said, man, you just got good energy.
there's an understanding of why we're getting
Yeah.
ready for battle. Music and rhythm has always been our life.
Yes, yes.
Go
I got a
back in
question.
history.
I got a
Right.
question from a young man. He wants to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
He got good questions. It's good that BJJ for self-defense, though. It's good that BJJ is for self-defense. He's asking, is BJJ good for self-defense? And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is good for not just self-defense. It's good to take somebody out too, if you know what to do with it. I got all these guys in these American top
Oh,
teams and Sanford MMA is around me, man. It's serious. I just ran into
sometimes
Tyron Woodley. I was at walking down South Beach the other day on my birthday, Saturday. Boom, ran right Tyron Woodley and his girlfriend. I'm like, "What's up, champ?" He's like, "Yo, what's up, good?" It's like, "Yo," I was like, "Darn, should have got him over here on the show."
hey, there's always
But
tomorrow.
no, but I told you I don't bring the fighters up there because I need a different conversation. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Why don't
Yeah,
you bring the fight?
only
Why
to
don't you
get
bring
it
the fight?
to give them exposure is one thing, but I'm just saying, like, I don't go after that
So
to
you want to,
do it.
so you want to see where the mindset's at.
Mindsets is different. Yeah, I need to
I
talk
want
to
to
the
see, I
guy.
want to talk
I
to
need
young
to,
fighters. I want to see where the mindset's at.
yeah, but
Because
listen, I got to
I'm
talk to the people to make them tell on themselves what's going on. I got to
okay.
get the information. So I get the information
Okay.
for from the guys, in the who run the
Know-how.
game,
In
you
the know-how.
know.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So for the fighters and the trainers that's watching, that's who I get. I get the entities, and that's kind of and
Well, look,
that's who
I
you'll see
say,
that I got. Yeah, I get the judges. I get the top referees in the game. I get the top of the sanctioning bodies. I get the presidents. I get the people who impact. Yeah, I mean, you can go to YouTube and watch the
I need a piece of you, man.
fighters. You know,
I need a piece of you, man. For real.
you're funny, man. You're
I need
funny.
a piece of you, man. When I hear you talking, I'm like, what? I never heard none of this as a young fighter.
Yeah.
It was literally like, dog, I'm being in Liverpool tomorrow. I'm fighting in Liverpool tomorrow with one tough bro down them ways. Come back, trophy in hand. There's more to life than this trophy. Come on, what's going on? You know?
Yeah,
Or,
I know, but that's what they knew. Never, I can't even blame them because
or what
it's
they're
a
doing
hard,
today? What's
if
changed then?
if
Where's the
you
knowledge?
don't,
Where's
yeah.
the knowledge today then? Where's the
But the
apprenticeship
biggest
today?
thing is the biggest thing is if no one's giving you the information, like the other coaches is like, shit, I want to be the smartest coach in the room, so fighters want to train with me. So they're
There
not telling you
is that issue. I noticed, I
ego.
do believe, maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong, over here, I would like our trainers and our coaches to come together more. For the same
yeah.
fact you just said, just.
You better understand that's what needs to happen because the
It
game is
needs
bigger
to
than
happen. We
everybody.
got to come back. We got to come together to bring these boys up.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, that's what I'm telling
our
my
supporters
guys.
abusing our boys.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
coaches are getting put into positions they shouldn't be in.
Yeah. Well, the game is getting to a point where it's sucking so bad because they're not putting on the fights that we need to see.
That too.
And so if the game is getting to a place where it's getting skeleton, it's getting feeble, it's getting
Mm,
flaccid,
yeah.
and it's
Real.
not erect anymore. And that everybody's feeling it. The reporters that write in the US,
Yeah. Yeah.
they
I hear
don't
you.
have stories that people want to hear. They don't want to hear the fights off with Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. They don't want to hear that Ryan Garcia is not going to fight Tank yet. They don't want to hear that, but
What?
that's all they're writing about what's
And
not going
who's
to happen.
stopping this? Because the fighters want it, no? Who's stopping this? Where's the
Oh,
clause?
it's the
What's the clause? What's
it's
stop? What's the policy? What's the reason?
what were
We
you
need these
saying?
fighters in the ring.
Protection. They
From
protecting
who?
fighters. They're protecting fighters that they don't really feel will win, and they're protecting them for not getting the purse. Let me give you an example. Errol Spence
Yep.
and Errol Spence and Bud Crawford
Yeah.
were to fight.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember we was talking about Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler. Guess what's on the money? Guess what's on the table in 1985 for them? We're talking $10 million. You know why? Because boxing in America was mainstream. It was bigger than football. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. It was unreal to have two of those guys at the same time. Not to mention Mike Tyson was in his first year as a pro, 17-0.
Yeah, man.
When you talk about that year, you can get what you want for a fight. Terrence Crawford got two investors to bring $25 million to the table. It's on that video that I was playing. $25 million a piece. He was going to get, he got them $25 million a piece. Errol Spence.
Am I hearing this wrong? I see two winners there.
But listen.
I just see no losers there. But I want to, and if the fight is good, I want to see it again. What's going on?
But no. Errol Spence said, what's on the back end? He's like, the back end. He said, man, do you realize nobody's buying pay-per-view now? This is not 1985. People have what we call over here, they call them these little fire sticks. What's the name of the thing that's on the fire stick? Well, it's a fire stick and you can just get anything for free. Like he said, everybody got that. And even Errol Spence said, yeah, I got one too. Like, see, he's like, you can't get that money now. Eddie Hearns is saying it. Even our guy is saying there's no money like that. So why wouldn't you take this money? It ain't no money on no back end. We're not getting what Floyd Mayweather got. Floyd Mayweather pulled the wool over the game eyes and robbed it blind. Nobody could figure that out, right? Because he's third generation. He knew things that other guys didn't. Plus, he had Al Heyman. So Al Heyman comes and meets with Terrence Crawford and tells him the exact same thing. You know, he don't want the smoke, which is basically telling him.
That's what he says.
That's literally what he just said. It's on the video. You'll hear him say it like, yo, no, this ain't a good deal. I'm protecting my situation.
What deal does he actually want then?
So what I'm saying is, do you think that somebody's going to say, okay, we're going to offer you $100 million to fight? Is not big to people who are not boxing fans. They don't even know Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. If I walk into a fitness gym and ask 50 people if they know Terrence Crawford and Errol, this is not 1985.
That's where we're going wrong. That's where we're going wrong, because these are entertainers of the highest level.
Yeah, but they don't
these
fight.
These are the two biggest boys in welterweight.
Okay, so let me tell you how they did it.
So fight 3 times.
So listen to what happened, right? So Errol Spence fought Pacquiao at the Playboy Mansion, basically. We call it Jerry Jones World. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jones, the playpen. Okay. When you know why that's a big deal? Because everybody that's watching football, which is the biggest attended anything in America, when people are watching American football, they're going to know because the commercial's on. So they're going to watch the fight because that's something for them to do on that Saturday night. That after that Pacquiao fight, or after he fought Mikey Garcia, he should have said, I'm fighting Terrence Crawford. Because why? The world is watching now. But now you go a year, you ain't fought nobody. Nobody remembers that. You're not at the playpen anymore. So football fans aren't watching because you're not fighting where they looking. They're looking at what Jerry Jones is putting out. Commercials are running during the biggest events, the biggest football games. They're running the boxing commercials and people are talking, and then they seeing Jerry Jones with the fighters. So they like, hey, we got to watch that. Yeah, those are fair weather fans, right? Pay-per-view people. That's the only time they know boxing. They don't even know the guy's last name. but they just going to tune in. That's when you make the fight.
But it's gone now.
Nobody can. Nobody has sold $700,000, 700 pay-per-view buys since Floyd. Canelo's not even doing it. People are getting those boxes and nobody's paying for nothing. You can go watch any fight live that's pay-per-view. You can go to YouTube, you can go to TikTok, you can go to Facebook. Somebody's gonna be playing it. Like nobody's paying.
Yeah, I've got the Fire Stick. I haven't put up yet, but I've got the Fire Stick.
So, but guess what? So that hits the purse.
But look at the people. Are you not the people's champion? Look, we over here, Europe, there's got this war on the front door. There's rubbish going on. Our food's gone up. Our heating bills have gone up. So we're being squeezed.
Yeah, we're being squeezed. But I just want people to understand where the economics of a fight come from. Why Terrence Crawford went out and got the money, just like Deontay Wilder did for Anthony Joshua 2 years ago, and now look, they didn't take it, and look at them now. Like nobody's winning, like with the money situation.
That's how, like I said to you, there's the fight, there's the weight, and there's the politics.
So listen to this. Young man Larry Liston said, "Does he have any thoughts on fighting Sean Cummins?" I don't know Sean Cummins.
No, Sean Cummins, he died. He had died a bad death.
Yeah, that's what they had down here.
Yeah, I fought him. He tough guy, boring times.
Way bigger. Yeah.
I beat the dude. It was either me or him to box Steve Collins. They'd penciled him in to win. They gave me time to train, and I dealt with the young man. And it's very sad what happened to him.
That's always sad. Yeah,
it's difficult when you live a life. What he was living his life, I can't understand how he's living his life. That's not for me to do.
Yeah.
So he said, but you know what? The strange thing is, I was talking to him. I can't imagine what he must have gone through. He wanted the rematch with myself. He went away. I was last fight he had. He didn't handle the defeat well. But when I got a phone call 2 or 3 years later, he was struggling to get his license because they were doing MRI scans on fighters, and they were where it was CT scans before. Then they flipped it to MRI, and the MRI is deeper. So a lot of fighters were pulled up for something showing up on the scans. I think he was one of them, so he couldn't get a license over here. He went into, I believe, collecting money off people who owed money, people in debt. And that was his job at the time. And then he was racing about on a motorbike, drove behind somebody, a driver pulled up sharp on a motorbike, went over the top. He got himself paralyzed from the neck down. So he's only got one hand. He can only use one arm. But as you know, as I know, a powerful athlete, any man to live in that kind of position is got to be sad.
Yeah, super sad.
And I think he got depressed, and I think eventually there's more detail, more time to talk about it. But
same thing happened with Diego Corrales. Start losing, and once you go up in that weight, and that's where you are, because that's where you've eaten yourself. 2 years after fighting Floyd, it's a wrap. Motorcycle wreck, Vegas,
gone,
game over,
gone, and sad.
Yeah, man, and I want people to understand that you're fighting for a reason, but that's not the only reason you're here. That's a part of your chapter that's going to edify the next chapter. And so
we're all moving on. We're moving through. We're taking what we can and making life better. In my eyes, I want to make someone's life better. If it's just a little bit,
And you're doing that. And the thing is, man, is with these guys, with these persons and these fights not happening, and it's a lot to it. And to be honest, man, the toughest thing to be right now is a promoter, because people are pointing at you for these fights not happening. And the reason why they are not happening is because they cannot offer money that's not there now. These networks
we had that issue over here. We had that issue over here where there was talk of this Tyson Fury and AJ, Anthony Joshua.
And that fell through.
$100,000 each. And well, where the small hauls getting their money from? How are they supposed to make some money?
Listen to this. Yeah, it's look. He said you guys should do a podcast together on boxing, just like K9 Cornelius Bundridge has his own podcast. I could listen to more debate with both of you on current issues in boxing. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
K9. Yeah, K9 is good.
K9,
Thank you, Larry.
sir.
Yeah, this is
Well,
why I wanted to bring my man up here because I knew Neville is authentic, and I knew you guys would really appreciate, especially the boxing story. Like we can talk about stuff, but then we get into the boxing story, it goes to another level, and that's the
real.
beautiful thing. Yeah, it's the beautiful thing about it. And I said, you know,
Sometimes I got to kin teeth, you know. Sometimes I got to kin teeth and laugh at some of the foolishness we did. Talk about fighters, what we had to do to make weight and rubbish, and it was
oh
like,
my
I
God,
look back
yeah,
and go,
it's so many.
scratch my
Yeah,
head and go,
yeah, because you know what? Every one topic is an entire episode. It's like because what I got a story. One of my guys came to me, flew from California, and was like, "Yo, coach," and I'm like, "Yo, you are fighting," and he got a fight on ESPN, and he was like, "Yo," I said, he said the only problem is I got to lose 11 pounds, and I said, "You fighting tomorrow?"
oh my
And
God. That's what I'm talking about. That's the
yeah,
people don't see that.
yeah,
And we too proud to back away from it. Oh, they might
yeah,
jingle the little dollar sign.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
And
but you know what he did? He moved out west because you know he had to go do what he needed to do. Because as an advisor, I told him, yeah, go out there and do your thing, get your feet wet, and get over there and get into the Mayweather gyms and work. No, he went to Houston first, and then but he went over there and he got over there with Freddie Roach and them. Well, he became the sparring partner with Manny for 5 years. So when Manny was
hey,
smashing him, my guy was his chief sparring partner, but he was no sparring partner. Rashad was he was
he's
like,
a mover. He's
oh
got to
my
be.
God.
With that
But
man,
listen,
that man's got guns in
yeah,
sparring.
but he popped, but what he did is went over there and then grew. And so he couldn't get the weight off the regular way he used to. So he knew I
You
could
know as
do
well
it.
as I do. If he's training too hard, he's going to put weight on.
He was
And not
training
get his
against
chance
Manny
to
Pacquiao,
recover.
and even Amir Khan came, and so he was kind of like big brother to Amir Khan too. But
Yeah.
Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao can't be in the same gym for so long.
Is
I
that
think
right?
it lasted like a year
For real?
because because then they ended up Amir wanted to fight him. It wouldn't have been smart, but you know he got good hands. But Manny just is mean, and people don't understand what they are in there with until they're in there with him. You know,
Yeah.
they look at him at the weigh-in and he's like this tall.
Yeah. But the man's rapid. How do you go up them weights? You got to question that. How does he go up those
Yeah,
weights
well,
and
you
have
know,
that rapid power still?
but you know what? The bottom line is I tell people this. He still got to fight. He's still this big. It like if an ant
Yeah.
took a steroid and could kick your butt, you know, hats off to that ant.
But you
You
know,
know?
I'm being raw now because I
Yeah.
don't like when I see him box Cotto. Great win. Cotto was dead at the weight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cotto.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who
No,
else
I
we
don't
looking
play
at?
around with that. Look,
Who else
you
we
hear
looking
me
at?
talk about that. You hear me talk about that, and you're talking about something real. Because for me,
Yeah.
I don't play that. But
You
I just
hear me
look.
though?
I'm just saying the dude grew, and I look at his
That's got some
legs. I've
bones.
always looked at his legs, and
Yeah,
I
man.
said the guy hold a lot of weight in his legs. But
Man's
wow,
powerful.
how in the hell does he just get that big? But you know when
Look
that
how many times he hit Floyd in their fight,
yeah, I know.
and every time Floyd was on. Well, yeah. What can I
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Floyd was thinking about the canvas at some point.
But Floyd said, yeah, I see why they call him. You know, I see
Yeah,
why he's here
that's
for a reason. Yeah.
that's a hand of stones. The Roberto Duran. That's a hand of stones.
Oh no, yeah, nobody, man. That dude, even Sugar Ray Leonard said every time he hit me, it felt like concrete. Yeah,
Creole. When he hit people, people stay hit.
they stayed hit. Yeah. And
Yeah, Duran's another story, man. Duran's another monster.
Julian Jackson was another puncher. He was just a
Yeah.
one punch. He'd show you that right hand, and then he'd hit you with it, and you be down. It was almost like a cartoon. It wasn't even real. It's like a fictional movie. Like he just pointed you at the beginning of that fight, and next thing you know, that one punch. It's like, how can one dude hit everybody with one punch and they go out? No hook behind it. Just turns was the only other guy. Lennox was starching cats. He was starching cats with Lennox. Lennox could sit down on a punch.
Yeah, but Lennox is intelligent and he never committed that power, because when you throw that hard,
but
when you throw that hard,
you sacrifice. Yeah, but that's Emmanuel Stewart's system of boxing.
Yeah.
You know, balance,
pick
high
your spot.
behind the jab.
Look at my man, Tommy. Look at my man. As an amateur, was it 262 fights, 11 knockouts?
Yeah.
As an amateur?
He's a monster.
Then turns pro, was it 32, 30 knockouts? That man was fierce. And that's just getting your balance right. Emmanuel Stewart tweaked him, put him on the balance.
Beautiful. He turned him into a beautiful boxer and a sniper. So this kid is saying, I'm 16, been training. Hold up, we got a question. He's 16 and been training about a year. Do you think in the next 10 to 15 years, I could be a high-level fighter? I work hard. What I'm asking is, I'm too old to get super good. You're 16, and I like the fact that you're saying 10 to 15 years, because that's a realistic for you to be at the higher levels of boxing. Now, yeah, you started a little late, but you dedicate your time, you do the things right, you understand the process of being moved into the sport, because you got to have the right people around you. Go ahead.
Have the right people around him, and he believes when he said, I'm going to work hard. Intelligence.
Yes.
Working hard is
don't mean
it's intelligence.
Yes.
Talk to man, talk to coaches. Do not be afraid to talk to people. I never talk to people. I'd see champions in my ring, my gym as a youngster, and I wouldn't go and talk to them.
Yeah.
They were open to talking to, but you know, I didn't want to bother their presence.
That's what I said. I said I never asked enough questions.
Reach them, follow them.
Yeah.
I mean, in my day, I mean, today you can watch Mayweather. Yeah, today you can watch Mayweather. You can wake up with Mayweather. You can go on a run with Mayweather. On the phone,
you didn't have that stuff. Yeah, none of that was available.
You got to train. In my day, we had 3 fights a year. Sugar Ray, Mayor Box, Marvin Hagler, and I had 4 rounds on this VHS. And all I could do was this VHS.
That's it.
And I had to watch how he turned his punches. To me, I watched Sugar Ray Leonard. That's how I was being taught by the best. I'd watch Duran. I'd watch Hagler. I'd watch Tommy. They were the boys in my face.
Yeah.
And I got 2 minutes of him.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Like,
and in my head, I locked that in. The way he moved, the body shots, the everything.
Man, Sugar Ray. I got a training drill that I have done, and I didn't even put it in my academy for people to do it, but I did it with the guys. I said, you understand the rhythm that Sugar Ray Leonard threw? I said, the natural, typical man don't have that rhythm, that kind of fluidity with that kamikaze he would throw, that flurry. He really has smoke on his. Like, he wasn't just. I remember De La Hoya did it against against Fernando Vargas when they fought. He was like, I was like, nah, man. Sugar Ray, I mean, he was
to my man who was speaking. Pick them books up, read their stories, get the empathy, understand. I love the story that Sugar Ray was saying in one of his parts. He said when he came back to box Marvin Hagler, he said he was on the punch bags and his wife was there. I think it's his first lady. And she was looking at Sugar Ray on the bag. And Sugar Ray came up to her and Sugar Ray says to his wife, why? Look at them coaches over there. They're trying to work out why I'm struggling. Yeah? Why he was struggling to get the timing right. And his wife looks at the trainers, Angelo Dundee, I believe, and a few of the other ones.
Yeah.
And the wife says to Sugar Ray, why are you hitting the bag so hard? he brought the wrong energy. He was trying too hard in the gym.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was a comeback. So this young lad is asking, can I make it? It is about effort and about how we tune ourselves.
Yes.
Even the greatest, Sugar Ray, came back and was trying too hard to impress upon whoever.
Yeah. And he paid for it. The thing is, this
he came
question,
back. But he changed his training program, didn't try, got his rapid hand speed back.
I got his brother, Roger. He's friends with me. Yeah, I need to get him up here and get some Sugar Ray stories. But listen to this kid. He said and I want a good response. He said, I also have a fight in December with a 27-year-old. It's like a smoker. It's in a gym, but I'm still taking it serious. You gotta, it's always, but yeah, that kind of thing. I got a video coming out for you guys, and then I'll Neville. Go to this website right now, subscribe, and I got a 6-part series coming out about sparring.
Yes.
And day 5 is what is required to be in a smoker, and everybody's going to be like, what the they're not going to understand. See, I fought the masses because people didn't think you needed to know so much stuff but to wrap your hands up and put your mouthpiece in. But I'm from a school of education, 3 generations, man. You can't overlook when the people that are above you were Olympic coaches and coach more world champions than anybody. You got to know that you got to fall in line, and you can't be like, go in there and just, it's rules to everything. And so this is a 6-part series that when you guys see it, you're going to understand how serious you take boxing. You take boxing serious like chemistry at school. You take boxing serious like language arts and English and social studies and history is there. So go to that website, subscribe. And I think tomorrow's Friday. It might be Saturday or no later than Monday that the series goes out. Everybody, you get an opportunity to see it for free. And it's not something that you're going to see anywhere. And you definitely ain't going to see nothing like this on YouTube. It's a very in-depth look and understanding of the layers of boxing and what Neville would have known, would have just because you already had the ability, God-given abilities inside that your mind talked to your feet and their hands, and then you polished it. That's why you could watch Sugar Ray and emulate, because you had that.
That's right.
It was like a symphony. Boxing was like music in you. And so therefore, but now how do you teach it in a way for these guys who really in there fighting that they could say, all right, so it's breakdowns of every skill teaching, but you take this and say, it's going to make you rethink taking a smoker, because you got to check the boxes of all the things that you require, because in a smoker, it's just like a title fight. You could be getting set up by a guy who needs somebody, like a lion might need meat. And you can walk.
I don't let if I got boys going to spar somewhere, they don't spar unless I'm with them or someone's going with them. Because you can go down there and you can be the punchback.
Yeah. And the bad kind.
People are going to sharpen up their tools on you.
On your head.
Am I getting this right? Is he 16? And the man is moving with his 27?
And the dude's 27. That's crazy.
That maturity is a bit. I don't know what the schooling is going to be like at the gym.
But he's young. He haven't even been boxing but a year. Like
no, that's right. I don't understand. I don't understand the logic there.
No, he don't understand though. But people coming into the gym, they don't know these things. He said defensive footwork and how to hold the most important fundamentals before fighting. I think this is a segue to another question. One guy asked what he was asking, what is the attribute every boxer should work on for beginners? The first thing you got to know how to do is stand like a boxer, but you don't do anything yet. You got to learn how to stand like a boxer. You know how long you got to learn how to stand? You got to learn how to stand for the first week.
You got to learn how to hold your own, hold your ground, defensive.
Move.
Everybody attacks, and it's like, hang on a minute, this bag don't punch back. You get into a habit of attacking. You need to be working on your stance and your awareness of self.
Yeah.
When I take myself into position to touch you, you can touch me.
Exactly.
If I stay there, that's
Yeah.
a rumble. Whether I knew it or not, I'm in
Yeah.
a fight. I must step in, assess, pull back out, not overreach. And I need certain sparring partners to bring this on.
Yeah. So
We're
how many
learning from one another. You don't want
when
wars with anybody just yet.
well, that's what happens when a guy stands on a punching bag for 2 hours
Yeah.
and just stands there and punches it. Now, this guy said, I've already had 2 fights. The last one, I destroyed the other guy. Well, that's nothing to brag about because what goes around comes around. When you just think that's what it's about
Good.
winning the fight, on to the next, developing a fight that you go in there and destroy somebody, you didn't really learn anything. It's
Well,
about
that's
having,
that's a danger some fights can get into. I destroyed a fighter, which is beautiful, by the way, my friend. But
yeah,
also, what did you learn from it? When I had my first, I won 5 national titles, and my coach said to me, I still wasn't ready to spar yet, which is very interesting. I won
mhm,
5 because I'd knocked out
yeah,
24 of 26 opponents. And these were the best. These guys had 96 fights, 102 fights, and I was on my 14th fight, 13th fight, second fight. So
yeah,
I had something, but I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah. You just was
I was
doing
going
it.
in there, but
You
my
was just
trainer taught me so well. That's why pads are essential, was essential for me because I wasn't getting sparring. So when I touched the pad, I moved offline. I tagged, I moved offline. I tagged, I moved offline. Everything I did, I shoved, I nudged. So I was ahead of my years.
you were
But I
ahead of your
still,
years.
but I still couldn't tell you what I did.
Yeah. But the thing is that that's not being taught. It's not being taught. Touch the pad and move your head. It's not being taught. It's hit the pad, throw another, pop, 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 pop. Let's make a TikTok. Let's make an Instagram. Pop, 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 pop. And that's what people are doing. They just want
And
the
that's not real.
sound.
30
Yeah.
seconds sounds good, but that's not real.
Yeah.
Pads are not real, but they're good with a good mentoring, good pads. Everything you do, you perform with excellence. I
Yeah.
used to try and knock out the pads at one point.
He
I
said,
knew I was strong. What's he
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Well, he just said, yeah, I know I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying. And the thing I learned in that fight was to calm down and not run in guns blazing. Yeah.
But I love it, man. I love
Unfortunately, you didn't
it.
learn the
I,
hard way.
I can see and hear the spirits in him.
Yeah.
Good. We're
Yeah.
passionate.
Somebody
we want
told
to.
him. I'm glad somebody made it clear.
But this
Yeah.
game ain't about a short. You want to be in this game 15 years? We got to look after self. Food, training, the
Yes.
mentoring that will come with this, that needs to come with this.
Yeah.
It's a long
Tyrone.
road, man. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
road.
Tyrone says, so like a firm stance with awareness, similar to like of Joe Lewis, likes of Joe Lewis and aware. And yeah, and that's about understanding what's happening when you got your stance. You got to learn to bend the knees, and then you got to learn to sit down in that stance until you're comfortable. Now you can start doing a little box step or something. You can do that. But the reality is, do you want to feel like it's natural when you actually start throwing punches? Because if you're not, you're just faking. And when you get in there against somebody, even if you're doing a drill, and we do drills like inside of a box, that you see what it feels like to throw a punch catch. And we do counter punch drills where you're touching your partner and y'all are blocking, but you got to have headgear if there's any contact. Thing about it is you won't be comfortable. So you got to say, do I want to give myself the fairest chance to be the best pugilist? Or do I just want to get in here and rush this thing through? Because that's what fighters do. They come in the gym and they just want to get that notoriety. So they want to come in there with all emotion, right? And then they throw in hard punches. They want to throw the cool looking punches. They want to do the Mayweather style mitts. They want to be on the biggest billboard being seen, but they don't realize what that dude had to do. Mayweather said, I used to go in the gym and get my butt whooped learning the Philly shell until I found guys who were lesser, and I was able to overcome and learn how to really do all of this stuff. And I said, what happens is when you get smart, you practice against people that you can get reps in, getting in your postures and learn how to throw a punch and get your head off the line. Because Neville, you do that so beautiful. You know, you boom, and you're just nice. You naturally, you
It's like
understand that you need to be out of the way. Like that's
it's a
not
rhythm.
nobody.
It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm, and it built in so it becomes natural. So when you're stepping in to the young lad Tyrone, when
Yeah.
you get your stance up front and you can hold your own without being hit, that's good. That's your first line of defense. You step back when the force comes, you catch the punches. But I like to say to young fighters, I want to see you tag one another.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you tag. If I come into your space and I drive and I put a shot on you, I don't need to hurt you. But the reality is I'm coming into your space to put a punch on you, a combination on you, and I'm going to walk back out. That I know them shots aren't going to hurt you. So I need to be aware. Get in, get out. I'm tagging with you. 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 months of this, you can turn the shot over when you're ready. When the competition comes, you get ready. A lot of people I see in sparring try and get as close to the real thing. Okay, if you've got the right people around you and you've done the right things, I get that. But the reality is, all sparring should be about technique, skills, and learning.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you now, you can already be hurt. That one, number one, I get hurt. You got a good nervous system. It's working. Right?
Yeah,
So listen
it works.
to it. You step
Gonna have your alarms will be going off, so you don't have to worry about your alarms not going off. Larry has a question. Larry has a good one too. Preserving your energy is hard as well. Some people just have a hard time conserving their energy, and you're right, because they get emotional, and sometimes it's anxiety, and it makes you go a little cray cray, and it'll take over you. That's what happens sometimes. Like Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get hit. When a dude hits you and you ain't felt a lick like that, or your body won't prepare to take it. I just seen guys get hit in a way, because this is what I want people to know, that when you box, you want to go into a boxing gym and box against a boxer, a guy whose face is already decayed with density from punches. And when you get touched, I don't care what you think, when you get a punch, your jaws have not been hit. And so when you are punching back and forth with somebody who punches for a career for years, and you think that guy's going to take it easy on you, they are designed to hit and hurt whatever's in front of them. When I used to, you had to earn your way into the ring to fight, to spar against the guys who were at the upper level. It took years. Like, you only thought you had to be a certain age to be in that ring, because it took so long for people to get there, because everybody doesn't belong at the high levels. We had 16 dynamos in the gym. All the Olympians, all the current world champions are on the way. They were top contenders at one time, plus world champions walking in. It looked like ESPN in our gym, and you couldn't get there. It took so many years. You're talking 6 years of going to the gym consistently, and then one day you get that call, that opportunity, because you've won some silver medals and some gold medals, and now you made it an Olympic alternate. You can get in there and spar with a guy who was currently, just recently, world champion. It's like, it's a thing. And that is the progression of developing too. That means they wasn't putting you in there just to put you in there because you come to the gym. You got to earn the right to be in there with a contracted fighter who's a contender or a current champion or medalist. Like, that's a level. And it's so much that guy knows that you don't. And so you got to realize that when you're going in there and wanting to get in there too fast, because you can get in there and those guys, they are trained to kill.
We got a young lad here saying he's doing 2 different martial arts sports.
I see.
Yeah.
So I mainly do. I'm mainly a kickboxer, but I'm going to start training in a boxing gym as well. Is it good to train at different gyms, because them both being striking arts, I've heard online it's good. someone else's experience isn't yours. That's first.
Yeah.
Second, you need
remember,
to concentrate on what you learning unless you're planning on being a mixed martial artist.
the
you
thing
need
is, they can help, they can complement each other.
it will.
But when you become instinctive and you plant your foot in a certain sport, another sport can sweep you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in the boxing terms, I've got short hands, I get close, but if I'm not used to protecting my legs, then I can put myself in a position instinctively without knowing it.
Yeah.
To land my punch with speed, with accuracy, I need to plant my foot for a split second. And let's say the kickboxer knows they're going to lean away and they're going to swipe your foot, ankle, or knee. So you've got to be aware of these things. Yes, if you learn, I got some guys who are doing Thai boxing and they box with me as well. And they've got a different style, they've got a different stance, they're a bit slower on their feet, but also they're used to their rhythm. I always say there's a rhythm with every style of fighting. Yeah. If you can find that rhythm, then your job is to break that rhythm.
Thank you. That's what I was like, yeah. Then you break the rhythm.
Break their rhythm.
Break
and that's
the
all
rhythm.
part of art. I'm not trying to break your spirit. I'm just trying to say to you, I find your rhythm and pop. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
Yes.
Move away. And I'm respectful with it.
Yeah.
Remember that. Always about being respectful with it when we're training with people.
Yeah. And that's why people appreciated our gym. They said, you know, you guys teach over here. It's different. Like we go to gyms, they be trying to kill you. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what they do. That's what they do.
But
that's
remember,
what they do. That's what they train to do.
But also the standards. I've been in the gym with people and I thought these guys were trying to kill me. But what it was, I was creating the problem because I was quick. So they tried harder. So I made them come harder. So if they're 10 stone and I'm 10 stone and I can time my punch, that's 20 stone on the nose.
Yeah.
So as they
you walk them into it,
they now thought they was in a fight. And again, what's fight again? Out of control.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to hurt them, but they were forcing the fight because I had the ability to out maneuver them, step away,
set the trap,
set the traps, and they walked them all day long. And I wasn't even being aggressive, if that makes sense. But it's still there. I'm still touching you, so I'm aggressive. But I'm not hurting you, and I could have turned the punch over. So respect always, my friends. Bring each other on.
Yeah, he said, before I transition to boxing, I really just want to take it day by day, 1% out at a time. Beauty is in the detail. Yeah, learn the thing, get used to it. See if you do want to pivot out of it. But like I said, we're doing this 6-part thing for people like yourselves, guys. So the email is down there at the bottom. Go up there and just subscribe. So what you can do then, you'll be able to get that email. It'll come through and it'll give access to one of the kind of things that people from the outside world and most from the inside world of boxing don't know exists. And it will enlighten you on an entirely different level. Like when I saw Mackie Shieldstone and guys like Custy Amato and Emmanuel Stewart, that there are coaches that do it a different way. Archie Moore, they just have a higher IQ. You don't see these kind of guys. They're savants. You don't see them. And so you get access to see something like that kind of, oh, wow. And you'll see a sport a whole lot different. So go up there and do that. And Neville, I'm going to let you get out of here. I pulled a crazy muscle and I've never had a strain in my neck like this in my life. And they just found this thing, and I just found it's called Strong Neck. They just start running a commercial. Like it's perfect for it's a circular thing, and you connect it to the door, and and Joe Rogan co-signed on it. He got a commercial with it. So it was like and I never had, man.
You got to be careful with that.
I'm saying I did this podcast. I've been over here for 2 hours. Me and my man, we just going. We could be going all night. I said, let me shut it off. I got to go get some therapy. Look, you can almost
You
tell
know
my
what I'm
neck
saying?
is crooked.
You cannot train your neck that way. I see guys trying to get conditioned to take better punches. You cannot. You can't train the neck like you do the bicep.
Oh man.
Bicep,
Nah.
you can't pump the neck. There's more muscles in there, man.
Yeah, the
And
scalene
you
muscles
see
is
yourself
different.
doing this, you're twitching like this for the rest of your days.
Yeah, man.
Nothing
I'm
worse than
telling
a
you.
crook neck. So you got to,
Yeah,
that's flexibility here, my friend. Strength and
yeah,
flexibility.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's key, man. And I love being able to have this talks and answer these guys' questions. And
These
it's
guys
a
have been
lot more.
beautiful.
I'm just like,
I
dang,
love this. So
no,
much shout out before I
yeah,
forget. I love these
people
guys have
are.
got lovely questions, man. I love it. I hope we've entertained
Yeah, man. But that's what I mean. I told you, you're gonna know when you're on the platform. It's gonna get going.
a lovely man.
Yeah, man. You guys are great, man. But it's been a pleasure to do this, man. We got to connect again, and I'm going to hit you at the beginning of the week because, of course, right now it's the end of the week, and
For real, man.
we're gonna schedule something else to do because
sir.
I think that I like what the guy do. My man said, "Good show, boys." Thanks, Larry. We
yeah, man.
appreciate you, brother.
All from the heart, man.
Absolutely. All
All
right,
from here.
guys. Continue
love,
blessings.
man.
Make sure
All
you go
love.
up there and you check out the site. And we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same bat station. Peace out, guys.